Crisis.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Welcome back. It is been so long. I'm in a new location, even though it looks pretty much the same in the back. But here I am back after 2 weeks. Movement from one city to another is hard with kids, folks. And, it was right at the beginning of the school year, so my kids hit the ground running this Monday, going to a new school and new house, new school, new clothes, school supplies, new school route, just everything, new schedule, wife starting a new job.
Plus, moving's never easy, so it's all sorts of drama and trauma.
Apparently, we like hard mode. We didn't just move and like, oh, we get a chance to assimilate. No, it was like hit the ground running here. So
I mean, we're old school gamers, so you know, if it's available, we'll automatically pick hard mode, right? That's what it's
nightmare mode.
Welcome, Mid-Geek Crisis. It's what are we up to? Episode
39. And again, my name is Joe, the Afroman, and my lovable, cuddly partner in crime,
Pedro, cautious online. It's good to be back. I've missed it. I mean, a 2-week break was great. I feel more reinvigorated, ready to do this.
We're ready. We're ready for some.
Ready to kick off another show. Ready to attack this from a different angle. So, let's just jump right in.
We're gonna jump right in, and we're gonna see the running theme in this week's story: back to school sorrows. It's every story we've got here, folks. Seems kind of like a sad point.
It's sad. We're coming back with a downer. I feel like we got to figure out how to. I mean, we'll just laugh at it. It's fine.
We'll laugh at it. Of course, we'll laugh at it all. We'll laugh at it all. But lots of stuff happened in the past 2 weeks while we were gone, and we're going to start with the oldest story. Actually, I think the story that kind of hit right after, like during the week I was moving, was Ninja, Mr. Fortnite, Mr. I'm going to stream and have dollars and
the star of Twitch, man. It's a big deal, right?
Right. This is
at this point everyone knows Twitch moved on. Twitch and Ninja have parted ways. Ninja decided to take his
payday
go to Mixer.
Right.
I think I mean, I know like it's fun to make fun of Ninja, but what a savvy business move. Like first of all, like Fortnite is kind of why not cash out and see what you could do in a whole new environment with a partner who's going to probably throw all their support behind him to try and grab his views, reinvigorate the Mixer platform, which is neat. I like it. I like it because it's easy on the Xbox.
Right. Well, yeah.
It's really easy. I just turn it on and
go. Yeah, Microsoft really has it set. It's funny you mentioned that, and all this happened when I was on the plane ride back from PAX East this year. I sat next to a guy who was a streamer on Mixer, and he's like, yeah, he had the Mixer badge, and he was like invited out there, and he says he exclusively does on Mixer. Mixer treats him well, and so it looked like the writing was on the wall. Like everyone was seeing what Twitch wasn't providing, and Mixer really jumped on it and said, hey, they're not doing
Let's try to do this. Yeah.
Let's try doing this and hit all the pluses that everyone's been asking for on Twitch. So here we are, folks. We're now in a wild new world where the most popular streamer in the world, with 20 million views at some point in time, all of a sudden is now on a whole new platform.
And I mean, I think it was something like 1 million new followers in the first day. Like people followed. It's not like people were like, oh, we'll just watch something else.
I wonder how many people signed up to Mixer.
Yeah, that's true too. I hadn't considered that.
Whole new subscribers, 1 million followers in like one day, and also his name and the name of the service was blasted on every news source. I mean, USA Today, CNN, everyone was talking about this, and it was like I could just imagine the olds going, "What? What is
like a sound mixer?
Yeah, what is this? Well, I don't understand." Yeah, right. But there it was. It was on everybody's like.
Good for him, man. I'm excited for competition because I feel like it's always Twitch all the time, and I think like let's I think competition is good. Multiple channels is good.
Yeah.
If Facebook ever decides to step up their game, then we've got 3 big players, and that's a good number, 3.
Yeah,
Really
yeah. Well, just like the console wars back in the day, it was like Nintendo and Xbox and Sony. So you had the big 3. Now we've got 3, hopefully 3 good streaming services, and it's good for
right now it's one huge streaming service and 2 ants, right? There's 2.
Right. But
also brands.
Right. It's a wild west though, because while Twitch is the big boy, I have seen lots and lots of. I mean, we're not even counting YouTube as a platform, even though they do have kind of a stream. You can stream live on YouTube, but we're not even counting.
I was thinking more of gaming, but yeah, you're right. You can stream live on YouTube.
Yeah. It's just in general, we've got multiple options now, and where you want to kind of cultivate your audience. Twitch has been very good about at one point they were only gaming, and then they decided to go that IRL aspect, and they started doing like, hey, you want to do like a book club on here, like talk about books.
They've got that. I follow a couple folks that paint and things like that.
Yeah, they just do the painting, put the camera and paint, or cooking. They'll put the camera over their like stove, and they're cooking and kind of doing.
Everyone says it's probably really relaxing. Actually.
Yeah. I mean, it's everyone's kind of doing.
It's funny. A year ago, I was like, I don't do Twitch, and now I'm like, oh, that's kind of something neat.
Yeah. So we've evolved, and that's. I've talked about this subject before, that this is why TV and shows don't happen anymore. Streaming services are where it's at, because you pick and choose the show when you want to watch it, how you want to watch it, and streaming services.
Interactivity, man, is yeah. A lot of times when I watch it, I mean, I have to fight the urge to comment, right? I don't really want to dive into that pool usually, but
you have the option to.
I have the option, yeah.
If it's a small enough streamer, you might be in a room with only 30, 40 people, and you're
chat it up.
Yeah, and your voice is actually heard by the person creating the content right then and there. Hey, put some pepper in that. All right, there we go.
Probably we should be doing that.
Right. Time.
Yeah, no, I mean,
we can't buy.
If we can, so we got to talk about this, right? So if we can record, we could do it live at this time, right? Like we're
going to get the setup. It's going.
With episodes, we got to get there.
With the move, things are going to change in this office a little bit. If one thing that you might not notice, there's no 3D printers in here. There's no toolboxes. There's nothing in here, and that's because it's all just regular computer equipment. I've got a whole.
It's got a workshop.
Got a workshop now. So there's going to be a PC and a camera in there for some.
Which is awesome, because the difference between a garage in Texas is that you could put a workshop in your garage in Texas. Here in Central New York, you want to park your car in the garage because you don't want the snow on top. Right.
Right. But to be fair, it's also been 103 all week here in Texas, and the garage is about 120. So I won't be.
You got to get some airflow in there. You got to get some airflow.
Yeah. It's been struggling. My power company that I got to is all like hip and cool, and they tell you when prices are fluctuating, and they've been like sending me big red alerts going, price per kilowatt hour shot up this hour, and it's unheard of, and like, yeah, it's been
that feels like too much stress in my life. I'm
honestly gonna turn this off.
I don't need that much stress in my life.
I said I was gonna do it to like kind of manage my power usage and all this, but now it's like kind of driving me a little like prickly on the back of my neck. I'm like, I don't want to have to worry that much. My thermostat.
You've got like 17 computers plugged in at any given time.
But I don't have any of them on. I don't have any of them on right now, and now I'm like, gotta turn that off. I'm watching my phone.
Let's talk about smart houses at a different time, right?
I've added a smart doorbell, lock system. I've got a camera in the backyard, and
that's awesome. I gotta get notes for you because I'd like to put a camera in my backyard.
Yeah, I put one out there because our driveway's in the backyard. We have a alley access driveway, so I put one pointing out the driveway, and then our Ring doorbell. So they're both. So I get notifications if someone walks up anywhere. So it's nice. It's neat. It's just we're living away from family and whatnot, so we can't call anybody to go, hey, check on the house now. So it's just peace of mind.
I could dig it. So that's our. I mean, I guess we didn't really lead with a disappointment. I'm not really disappointed they moved to Mixer because now I can watch them regularly.
There's brand loyalists, right? We've talked about the swarm, the people, the fandom, and their like rage. Same reason why people all of a sudden love Steam and only love Steam and hate the fact that there's Epic Games, the Epic Games Store, and and that kind of stuff. That division.
The tribalism is out there. Yeah.
Tribalism is weird about this kind of stuff, and the fact that it's not like, I just don't understand the fact that you can just go to Mixer.com and do it there. Like, is it that much of a heartache that you can't open up another tab for another service and watch them there? Like, I don't.
Well, I think a lot of, and this is also the complaint about all of our TV now, where once it was all coming together in Netflix, now it's all breaking up again, and Disney's got its own. And so we've got this complaint there too. Like, we don't want 75 apps on our. It's weird, right? Because I think about it, I'm like, man, that was our life growing up. I mean, we had 11 channels, then we had 400 channels. Then we got to streaming, and we were like, we can watch whatever we want when we want it. And now it's blowing up again to 75 apps, and we're just like, that's too much every time. Like it's gonna grow and
that's a good segue. That's a good segue, because something I didn't put in our notes, but we need to talk about, because while I was gone, again, the big news was we finally got the price point for Disney Plus, and
coincidentally, it costs as much as my Netflix. Weird,
$12.99. But again, we get Disney Plus with that astronomical lineup that they've announced. Hulu is added to the mix, and ESPN Plus, which, if you're a sports goer, that gives you
Yeah, I haven't researched it. Can I not get ESPN?
I think it's $12.99. I think it's
$12.99 no matter what.
You just get all three services at once.
Which I think is like, what, $2 more than Hulu, or $1 more than Hulu's plan now with no ads?
I haven't, right. So I pay for the no ads on Hulu.
I think that's $11.99.
$11.99. So I'm wondering what they're gonna, if they're still gonna have the no ads option with all the other stuff as well. I don't know. I haven't looked.
Because $1 upgrade's nothing for Disney, right? That's
no.
I mean, I like literally. Here's the deal, NBC. I was gonna drop Hulu to pick up Disney. Right, that was my business game plan. I was going to drop Hulu to pick up Disney, and now I'm like, well, it's only $1 more, and I get Hulu. This is a no-brainer, right?
Right.
I just pay $1 more. But then I'm like, but I don't want ESPN. Like, I don't want any of my money to go into ESPN. Nothing. I don't want to support them at all.
Right.
I want them to dry up and disappear and blow away like dust in the wind.
Well, they're around, and they're owned by Disney.
I'm tired of subsidizing sports. That's what I'm tired of doing. So I cut the cable. Stop subsidizing.
That's fair. That's a fair argument for sure. That's a whole other argument.
Sports argument. Let's go on some sports blogs and argue that one.
Well, we have a right to talk about it, because they show esports on ESPN now.
That's true. Oh, you know what? Maybe I'll figure out how to watch some esports on ESPN. They have I work for I'm going to say old school company, a very venerable old company. And you could probably figure it out if you do 2 minutes of sleuthing on my name, right? But they're having for the fall, they're doing a Jersey Friday. So instead of like casual Fridays, everyone's got to come in with jerseys for their basic sports teams. And I'm sitting there being like, well,
how do you troll that?
I was like,
I know how you work. You were like,
I was like, can I just come in like I don't know, a video game jersey? Is that going to be okay? Can I put on a
sports jersey? I don't see why not. They're going to be like, what is that? Is that some sort? It's a professional
professional sports. Well, like my lovely wife already got me the Rocket City Trash Pandas minor league baseball shirt, so I can wear that one, right? But it's not quite a jersey. It's just
is that really a team?
Yeah, they're called the Rocket City Trash Pandas. They did an internet vote for their team name, and of course, I mean they
had that informed. And why not have one of these jerseys as well?
It's like a raccoon in an astronaut outfit. They're just like, and like they're I think they have like a one with they're flying up in space in a trash can. Because it's the name of the city's Rocket City. So yeah, it's I should have said. I'm surprised we haven't talked about
We have not talked about this.
Rocket City. You know what?
That's like multiple. First off, Trash Panda. Second, a city named Rocket City. Third, Rocket the Raccoon. I mean, there's just like you could just like go around in circles on all of this. Like this.
And plus, it's Rocket City. The Rocket City Trash Pandas. I think baseball McBaseball-y was like third place, like of course because it's the internet, right? So
Hey, Bodie McBoatface.
I think Bodie McBoatface might have been in the running, right? Like it just was.
Sure was.
And I think they had like final veto rights, and one of the team names that kept floating to the top was the Trash Pandas. So that's what the. That's
and I commend the team for going, you know what? We like that.
But that's exactly the kind of like ridiculousness that minor league baseball is all about, right? Like
right.
If your team doesn't have a ridiculous name and an absurd mascot, you're doing minor league baseball wrong. Like you're just like I'm sad it's not the Syracuse, like the Salt City Trash Pandas, because it'd be perfect, right?
Salt City Trash.
I think it should be the Salt City Tauntauns, right? Like the Hoff like Tauntauns. It should be
good.
We don't like embrace them.
Don't you have like 2 minor league teams, and y'all have the
only one I know of is the Syracuse Mets at this point.
Well, yeah, y'all have the Mets, but y'all used to have another one, right? It was another one at one point. Anywho, yeah.
Anyway, so.
Oh, dude, wear that, please.
I need a jersey though. I have like a basic T-shirt. It's got to be like a sports shirt. I got to have like, I don't know,
a number on the back.
So, yeah, I guess so. I don't know. It's a stupid.
All right. So, but I mean, if they're gonna have it, you might as well invest in one so you can wear it.
Just so I can wear it every Friday. My Trash
Friday, wherever the Trash Panda shirt. Awesome. That's awesome. I had no idea.
Yeah. We should get you some things out of the way. So we were talking about disappointment, and here we are laughing about it, right?
Well, yeah. I'm disappointed. I didn't know that existed. That's what I'm disappointed about. So let's talk about a bit of disappointment here.
A different kind of loot crate. Let's talk about a different kind of loot crate.
So we've talked about loot crates in the
electronic form
of virtualness, but now we've got to talk about the physical loot crates, and that is the company Loot Crate, and they filed for bankruptcy.
Mm-hmm.
Chapter 11. It looks like some people have reported. Again, I'm going to tell you from personal experience, I canceled it about 3 months ago, which I guess was at the right time. I constantly kept wanting to go in to cancel it, and then as soon as I hit cancel, they would go, "How about we give you half off, for your next one?" And I was like, "All right." So they gave me 50% off of my next one, which was like, $15 or $14, $14.99 or whatever. So I paid it $14.99 and got another loot crate, and that last one was horrible. It was a $10 T-shirt and like a washcloth and like a bunch of crap that sat in the box. Like it was absolutely
stickers and foam pads and garbage.
Yeah, it was just garbage. It was like the stuff they give away for free at conventions. It was just really, really lame stuff. And this is coming from a company that would give exclusive Funko Pops and
well, didn't they have the Demogorgon
Yeah, well, I've got a couple of stuff in my shelves that like I've got like a Demogorgon that's coming out of being pinned against the chalkboard from the end of the first season.
Yeah.
There's a
couple, how did it happen? Like I don't get it.
I think it was one of those scenarios where venture capitalists, they got a bunch of money from VC,
and they're hoping to go up,
right?
Up.
And they were spending, these boxes were costing them more than what they were actually getting. Like they were getting big deals, like little statues. Like I've got a whole set of like Loot Crate statues from Marvel that are really cool looking. They're by a company called QFig, and those things, I look at them, I'm like, how did they? Like I would expect to pay $30 for this little statue alone at like some sort of collectible shop, but yet they would throw that in and a T-shirt and like maybe 1 or 2 little items. And so I've got like 5 different little statues that I've gotten over the years, plus like enamel pins, and enamel pins are expensive to make.
Yeah.
You talk to anybody.
Plus shipping must have killed them. That's the part where I'm like, right. How do they ship me a $20 box and it's free every month? How does that even work from a shipping perspective?
So T-shirt and pin were constantly was the flat thing that you would get, plus all the other stuff. The T-shirt was a given. It was so
that was their promise. It was like Loot Crate a T-shirt every month, right? That was and then whatever else. Yeah, I remember looking at that and being like, "Oh, it looks cool," and then thinking about it, and then not doing it, and then not doing it. And then all these other crates started appearing. I'm like, you know what? This seems like too many crates.
And it got too big and it failed. That's, I think, is what happened. I don't see many of them around anymore. They're not advertised anymore.
There's like small, I want to say boutique ones. Like there is one, like there's like it's called like an adventurer's crate.
Right.
It's it's an adventure with some miniatures and a terrain map. It's just an adventure in a box, and that's like $20. I think it might be $25, which is about what you would pay for a published campaign adventure anyway.
Right. And what's nice about that though is one, mass producing minis is not that expensive. Once you get bulk orders, they're cheap plastic. I mean, they're little bitty things, depending on the detail and the mold and whatnot, whatever. But with 3D printers and fast prototyping, you're able to kind of prototype your own and then get it molded and send it out for mass production. And then a map or whatever is just paper. And you maybe a cloth map if you're going to get expensive, but all in all, the investment versus the return is big, right? You
could be big. I mean, writing an adventure that's good or at least decent every month isn't easy, right?
No, but I mean, they could. I don't know how it works.
Make it look nice, using the rules set correctly. Like
I don't know if it's the same 4 different people, but they could be paying some of these people, kind of like a lot of these websites that go out there that they have whole communities based off of it. They can contact one of those writers and say, "Hey, I see that yours is being rated, really high. Let me go ahead and commission you to write this quick adventure for 6 months down the road." And they just kind of keep a cycle of fresh faces. And if that one gets good reviews, then they bring them back. And so you're kind of hiring, but through contractual.
I mean, don't just give this away. You're giving away this great idea for free. What is this? I'm not here.
We do that a lot on this show. That's fine, but
this is turning just lemons into lemonade, right? So, I mean, sad for Luke Ray. I mean, I feel like it was like I don't want to say.
I mean, I've gotten all sorts of fun stuff.
It was a nerd.
That's in here. It's a little
staple. There were many people I knew who picked this stuff up. A nice little. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, just a nice little book with it was Luke Ray.
Tiny map book in case you have some inspiration.
Yeah, so all sorts of fun little stuff. I've got tons of stuff lying around here that I've gotten.
I know, dude. You're going to make some archaeologist's dream come true in 2,000 years when they find all the plastic bits buried under whatever. Or maybe you'll bury it with you in some sort of.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. It all goes in. It all goes in.
Oh, I want mine to have traps. I want to be buried in a dungeon is what I want.
Yes. You've guessed it. That's exactly what we're going to do.
We should all just chip in. Let's just get a community of DMs together and be like, we're going to buy this mausoleum and we're going to set it up with
traps for 2,000 years from now when they try to go in to find our treasure.
The worst part is if we at all announce it to anyone, 7 nerds are going to conquer it 2 days after they close the door, right? That's
no. It's going to be
spoilers up on the boards.
It's going to be a time lock. You can't open it without
It's genius.
20,
otherwise, a fireball spell goes off inside.
Absolutely.
Breaks everything.
The best part is at the end, and whoever watches this episode will be in that tomb. I'm going to put just a piece of paper that says, "You are the win."
You are the win.
You are the winner spelled wrong, or congratulations, spelled wrong. You are the win,
I'd imagine like a creaky video coming up and being like, "You are the win."
The winner is you.
And then like,
what? That was it. That's all you got.
That was a use.
And maybe my bones pop up like.
Oh God! It's just like bones come from the ceiling instead of balloons, right?
Yeah, my body. And all my Loot Crate crap.
That's the Loot Crate plastic shit.
Oh God. I will tell you, I had
Reaper miniatures and Dwarven Forge shit, like just stuff that we
kill somebody, just landed and go with the head. That Dwarvenite stuff's expensive. At one point, I had about 30 plus Loot Crate boxes. They come in those nice.
I remember seeing those boxes and being like, "What are you doing?"
I had them lined up, and I broke a lot of them down, kept the few that I really liked, used them as boxes for miniatures and whatever. But then most of them I gave to my mother-in-law. She uses them for knitting stuff and crafts. But I didn't want to throw them away because they were really nice, well-printed boxes with some cool designs. And they were functional. They closed and had the lid that kind of went back in. But
that's the best.
That was the best part about Loot Crate, I think, the boxes.
The best part about Loot Crate.
I always hated when they made me when they did an extra where the box was like a punch-out thing. And I was like, come on.
My box.
And in my box. You ruined my box. So, yeah.
Trying to keep it mint here. Trying to keep it mint. You've seen my miniature boxes, right? I think I've showed it. Maybe I showed it in 1 second.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, wrong way. There we go. So, my wife got me a Birchbox Man. I don't know. You remember? You were around for that. Like every other month, I got like a cool technical stuff.
Yeah, well, first tell them about Birchbox. Tell them what was in it. I mean, I don't know if it's still around. Is it?
Yeah. I mean, I canceled it. If I'm honest, for the same reasons you did. Like I was at the point now where I was like, man, every other month, it's not anything I want. Right. And then it was like 3 months in a row where it wasn't anything I wanted, so I just canceled it. Right.
Right.
But the months that were great.
I ran into that where I was like, I'd get 2 months in a row where it sucked, and then I'm like, if I don't cancel, I always got that FOMO, and then sure enough, like that next month was like something really cool. I'm like, I'm glad I didn't cancel, and then the next month was like, oh, it's crap again.
That's exactly right. So like there was a point in which they were sending cool things. Birchbox Man is just like I mean, like it's a hipster subscription box, right? It was like beard lotions and like stuff and like eyeliner if I wanted to look dope and stuff for your hair. But every so often they would send you like a neat multi-tool kit or leather straps for all, like binders for all your wires, iPhone cables. Like they had a month where they just sent you techie stuff. And I have like, I want to say like 7 different rechargeable battery chargers because every so often they would send me a new one, right? So I have a cool multi-tool bike tool for the bikes, right? It's just neat stuff.
Yeah, handy stuff.
Handy stuff that I'm like, I would never buy for myself, which is what these subscription servers are for, but it was nice to have. But they came in these like neat drawer boxes.
Yeah, I remember that.
Right?
Yeah, so, nice cardboard slide-out box.
Slide-out boxes. So now I just use them for, you can see this is all my undead miniatures are in here, right? So... And I kept like, just like with your boxes, I kept like 60 of them. And eventually, not 60, a bunch. They switched boxes. So they switched from these boxes to these like ones you just open, just like normal boxes, and they suck. So I was like, like, well, which was another nail in the coffin.
Goes back to the nail of the coffin of Loot Crate is I'm sure cost of those boxes, the color printing, the flyers, and all that stuff was just costing them an arm and a leg.
Yeah, and they could never reuse it again because it was a different box every month. It's not like January was the same box every January.
Right. They themed the boxes and whatever item was in it. So like if it was a Pop Funko, they had to make sure the box was big enough to fit a Pop Funko and a T-shirt. And then some months it was something small, so then the box got thinner. So the sad part on my behalf was when I had them all lined up, they were all different sizes. They were equally about, but it would bug me. So some of them were like wider, some of them were taller, and so
the printing's off, and you're like OCD.
Yeah. I really wish they had just themed the boxes to a max size, and no matter what, everything had to fit in there.
Try to fit everything in there. Yeah, that's right. I mean, Birchbox had 2 sizes, one large, one small, which is great because now I have miniatures, large miniatures in the large boxes and small miniatures in the small boxes. It's great. I love it.
Sad. If you are a Loot Crate or subscriber, you're probably going to get a message saying they laid off like 50 employees today. It's sad. I don't like seeing anyone, especially in the geek community, lose jobs over stuff like that. The Loot Crate guys that were really, really swell. I'm going to use that word because I met a few of them at PAX East a few years ago. The execs were there, and they had they had a lot of like leftover stuff, and so they brought them and made like custom boxes for the pay $20 and you got like a big custom.
They were selling literally like build your own loot boxes.
Build your own loot boxes at PAX, and it was fun because it was a way. And then they gave you like a coupon for like a free month, and so
good gimmick.
Good gimmick. It was a way for them to get rid of that old inventory stock that they had from previous boxes, and at the same time, kind of like get people involved. Real nice guys. It's sad that the company didn't work out for them. I think the idea is sound. I think that I don't know I don't know. I don't have the business acumen to say what I could have changed. I think cost of shipping probably went up. The expectation, the bar kept going higher and higher.
Shipping expectations, and I think the marketing budgets of all of these companies that were giving them free stuff, right? So like that's the first thing you cut when you're giveaways. You just, when you're trying to shrink your purse and trying to get more money back into your own business, you're not going to give out as much free stuff. So I'm sure like Reaper Miniatures didn't want to give out their miniatures for free because they didn't see much return, right?
Right.
If I'm going to put one of my things inside the loot box, I'm hoping that they're going to order more stuff and they're going to use the Loot Crate coupon code or whatever they're going to use.
I'll be honest with you, that did happen. There are a few products on there that I had got, like
Birchbox did the same thing.
They did when I was like that's really cool. And then I went out and bought a few more of that particular item. I think headphone covers. They had some like ear tip ones at one point, and
Oh,
I
neat.
liked them. And so yeah, so that's great. But you're right. I think a lot of the stuff was way too niche. It was way too like, here's this one-off Loot Crate made thingamabobble, whatever. And then
Yeah.
you get it, and then like there was no return. Like I couldn't go and like invest and buy more of those because they were only made that one thing. And it was like, if they had been more functional, they had been giving away more functional things, maybe phone cases, maybe a phone case for your phone and that one company. And then I could go back and go, hey, I like the quality of this phone case. Let me go buy. But that's not what was happening. They would get different manufacturers for shirts all the time.
Shirts.
And
shirts, and then eventually you just start getting like pieces of thread that just fall apart the minute you look at them.
Yeah. There was one or two shirts that were just way too thin, and most of the time they were pretty good.
Most of the time they were pretty good.
I'll be honest. Going around conventions and whatnot, when I wear a Loot Crate shirt, you can always tell. You can point them out and go, "Hey, I remember that one."
And there you go. Part of the secret society of Loot Crate
t-shirts. Yeah.
Oh, those are going to be collectible items now that Loot
Crate. They are. There's one particular one that I really like. It's a Link one where it's 8-bit Link, and he's made out of pieces of the map. So like the bushes or the green. And
that's pretty neat. I remember that one, yeah.
So I wear that one all the time because it's a really comfy shirt, and it was a Loot Crate when it was free. So it's sad.
Goodbye, Loot Crate.
Goodbye, Loot Crate. Hopefully you're able to catch up on those 3-month behind people that haven't gotten their boxes and they get something out of it.
The last box is just going to be all the boxes that are left over, right? It might be like, Jai, I would cancel subscriptions and then just send them the biggest loot box you can fill, right?
Yeah.
Go out with the big old bang if you can't get rid of the inventory.
So that's one disappointment. Let's talk about another one real quick. And another one was Minecraft. This is kind of a silly one. And we won't dive too deep in it. But a couple years back, if people remember, they announced the big 4K graphical overhaul. They had a nice trailer at E3, cool lighting, and like just awesome water. And they were like, "Oh, the super duper graphics pack is what it was called." And it's 2 years later, and it's not.
They're like,
it's
sorry,
back. It's still not out. And today, yesterday it was canceled. I don't quite understand that. I don't know what happened. I don't know what they were doing. Maybe it was an engine problem. Maybe it was. I don't know. I don't understand.
It's development of Minecraft too.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I mean, I get it, but I don't. I mean, there's enough mods out there. Yeah, you get a ton of beautiful mods. The Xbox community has like their own weird quirk that's separate from the computer community.
But no, that's the thing.
I know, but now they're all together.
They do have mods that do up the graphics a bit, but
I meant the Xbox players behave very differently from the computer players.
Right.
I mean, not to say nothing, but us Xbox Minecraft folks are fucking nuts. We're just wild. We're not appreciative of your Middle Earth recreation of Helm's Deep. We're gonna set TNT in it and blow it up.
I was like, "You're TNT orange." Yeah, that's you. Ban.
I mean, we're real fast like this. We're literally. We're the orcs. We're the orcs of the Minecraft community. And it's so weird because like every time I've ever gone to a server, I'm like, you're an Xbox player. Let's go wreck some stuff. Like it's like we're bad people. We're bad people.
I think what ended up happening was
they overwhelmed.
They released Minecraft on everything, right? And everything had to have parity. So your Switch, your PC, your Xbox, all three of those, and then iOS and Android all were allowed to play on the same server, which means that all packs have to run on the same thing. And so when you add Super Duper Pack, all of a sudden, low boy Android phone isn't going to play that. Your Amazon Fire TV is going to play that. Your Switch might not be able to handle it. It was probably killing Switches because it was like running to. A good example of this is the new Dragon Quest Builders 2. That came out. It's kind of like Minecrafty. My kid has been playing it. My youngest, Ollie, he's been playing it for the past 2 weeks on the Switch, and he's got hours and hours into it. It's like Minecraft, but it's really pretty, and it's in the Dragon Quest universe. But the problem with the Switch version is that there's a lot of user created content, and it literally drops the Switch to 7 frames a second.
Oh my gosh, because they just got too much stuff on the screen.
Too much stuff because they're making this on like PC or they're making it on PlayStation 4, but then that level loads up. So all user created content is like almost null and void on the Switch. Even though the game, it's just because it wasn't programmed properly. Like they just said, oh, well, yeah, you can build whatever. But then the game is beefier than Minecraft, as in the graphics are prettier than Minecraft. So when you load up a whole city, a whole castle that someone built, yeah, stutter. I mean, it's infamous right now. There's tons of videos up online. Go check it out. That show that it's like, hey, like you can't play. So that's probably what was happening with Minecraft here. It's another scenario where
they couldn't make it equalize. They couldn't bring it across because, like, again, the Helm's Deep design in these massive TIS-scale masterpieces probably don't work that well.
Yeah, they probably don't work very well. So
super duper beautiful graphics.
Super duper. Yeah, because all it was a coat of paint. It was a new coat of paint on top of existing stuff. So that's what would have happened. Is all of these giant cities.
It's J.J. Abrams' flare, right? Like
flare. Yeah, but light flares and you know, water, really realistic looking water, and like
a creeper texture that looks awesome.
God rays is what they call it. You know, God rays and particle effects was kind of the big thing.
Oh, jeez, particle.
Could you imagine like lava with particle effects, you mining and like
oh, it's really ridiculous. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
It would have been beautiful. I would have loved to have seen it. Now I can't. So
well, just download a mod. You'll be fine.
Yeah, right. Apparently, I got to download like 17 mods and add them all at once. And I don't know, but you're right.
Which one's breaking it? Uninstall one of those mods.
Yeah, it's actually going to make me curious to go and see if I can create my own super duper pack from the mods in the community.
It'll take you like just Google it, right? You'll find it in 4 seconds.
Find one guy YouTube video on these are the mods to install. You know, you install them. There we go. Yay!
Hey, look, I'm in my world. I've actually designed the mods inside my Minecraft game, and you're like, what?
You're playing Minecraft inside of Minecraft. PC. Those are PC users, the guys that like make calculators and like full on logic.
Yeah.
Inside of
again, like because when you're on the Xbox, you're not making anything permanent in the Xbox.
I don't know. You had a pretty good town at one point.
Yeah, but every time my brother showed up,
they show up in TNT all and then log out.
And we're all laughing our face off, right? That's. I feel like if we went into my old server at this point, like I'd still find traps that they left for me when I walk into my house. Like there's still like pressure plates. I'm like, oh no, TNT bomb. We would do that to each other. Like that's. Oh, he's gonna sign out. Well, I got him now. Like we weren't very. Yeah, we were just. Minecraft days, good stuff. And now when I log into Minecraft, I literally just dig for hours. It's just like
just to see how far you can go.
But just like Zen Calm thing, yeah. And one of the things I do is see how long I can live, right? Just like put on my backpack and be like, I've got one life. I'm going for it. Let's see how long I can survive out here.
Yeah, that's what I did the last time I played Minecraft too. I just kind of played for about a couple hours just to like jump in and see how far I can go without really crafting. Just like
know how to live, yeah.
Yeah. And that's the Minecraft. That's actually the key to Minecraft, right? Like play it how you want to.
Yeah, that's the best part about Minecraft. Yeah. I mean, eventually you'd like a story mode, but right now, sometimes you just want to log in and play virtual Legos, right?
Yeah, that's exactly it. And so it's sad that we're not going to get that. Maybe that leads to good things for Minecraft too. Next story, more disappointment. Again, more things that happen. I feel like it's
more things. But this one's a weird one. I feel like in that they give us something and then they take it away, right? So like Apex Legends dropped the solo mode, something that I'm like, oh, well, now I need to reinstall Apex Legends so I can actually play this
solo mode.
But they've said right up front, like, oh, you can only have it for a little while and then we're taking it away. And I'm like, oh, now I need to install it tomorrow. What's going on? So,
right. So they're giving you that like play now moment and. Yeah, we'll talk on two subjects for that because one is here's Apex Legends giving you a game mode that people want. They get to practice and become better at the game without
getting sniped to the head by a 12-year-old.
Right. You know,
you really could be sniped, but like without having to
no scope. You know.
Well, there's there's the heartbeat of multiplayer games versus the actual taking the time to learn the buttons in a solo game, right? Like Call of Duty, you go from the solo mode or campaign mode into multiplayer, you know
But
the
those
button,
games
got the
they've
muscle
divided
memory.
the gameplay so differently that you play the solo mode and it's not the same as the campaign.
But the buttons are at least the same.
Sort of, but then like
That's the important part, the muscle memory. I mean, yeah, I mean, will you ever have to master the jump spin headshot that you do in Call of Duty? No, you don't.
no.
Like, you know,
I remember back in the day when I used to play Quake and Unreal, like you could play against bots on your own computer, crank it up to hard. You know, if you can beat hardcore bots, then at least you had a kind of a fighting chance that you would score a couple kills on, and all the buttons were the same. You were playing exactly the same game. There wasn't a solo mode.
Grandpa Joe, man, my day.
You know,
We used to shoot the rocket launcher below us to jump back off and headshot you. Like that's
man, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for Doom Eternal because of that alone.
be good.
Uh,
Good. Not, hopefully not disappointing.
But speaking of which, Division 2. This was something.
We were talking about this before the show, and like here is, I mean, like I don't know how much people have been playing the looter shooter scene out there, but Division 2, I would say, had the smoothest launch, right? Destiny 2, rocky, but Destiny was going to be rocky no matter what.
That's because Division 2 was Division 1 completed in a new city. Like they took that engine that they built and put it into the game. Like
they put the engine in, but it looks way better, right?
Oh no, of course.
The inventory screens are garbage, right? The mechanics for how to develop your character are not quite there. They added things that make things easier, and then they put in layers on top that makes it harder. The commendation windows are weird in that they look so different from the old ones. There's a lot of things that they enhanced but made more difficult, more button presses for no reason, right? For example, it used to be one button to share something, now it's two. It used to be one button for emoting, and now it's two, right? Like, it's just like weird things that I'm like, why did you make this decision? But besides that, still a great game, still a fun looter shooter, still a fun team play looter shooter. I like it a lot. And I also think one of the MMO type games that came out that didn't get the same sort of negative press and beatdown. Anthem got huge disappointments. Fallout 76. You had Destiny 2, which had the rocky start. You know, like these games all
better because it's now left it's Bungie and
well, also they've had a year and a half to invest in it and things like that and turn it around. And so it's Division 2's, I want to say, realm to lose and lose to the elephant that's coming out in September, right? They're going to lose that audience as soon as that best looter shooter folks come out with their game, Borderlands 3, right? So here's their chance, and I feel like they're dropping the ball. Like they've released a patch that really struggled. They just released some expedition things, and by all counts, they're a lot of fun. I haven't had a chance to do them, and now they're saying they're taking them away to do something else.
Yeah, right. So that's what we're talking about here. Is here's a game mode. Like I don't understand.
3 new missions. Here's a game mode that was different, had a different way to play the game, that they're going to now take away. And there was no announcement when they dropped the game mode to say we're taking it away, like Apex Legends Solo, right? So at least with Apex Legends Solo, they're like, oh, they're going to take it away, but we can hope they won't.
This goes back to the conversation we've had before about Fortnite, in the sense that this is maybe a bad thing that Fortnite has set precedence on. Fortnite is infamous for that. They have their the world game, their single player, their PvP one, and then they have the PvE one.
Which
and
is
within the PvP one, they've got multiple modes, and usually it's the team, and then they've got solo, but then they'll add sometimes really fun different ones, or they'll create the playground, and then as soon as the new season comes out, they take all that away and start from scratch, and then just add one mode at a time back in. They vault weapons and then bring them back.
Yeah.
So the way to keep the game fresh, but at the same time, maybe that's not always the best when you don't have the amount of people. Like Fortnite's got millions of people playing it. Division 2 might not. So when you add a mode that people might like, why would you take it away just to kind of segregate?
I don't get it. Also, like, it's a different audience. Like Fortnite's all about that exclusivity and moments of. Division 2 is about grinding your way through a looter shooter, right? It's not about learning the map so you could do it fast, so you know which, that's what looter shooter is, a completely different type of game. It's about grinding and learning the map so you can.
It's not a battle royale game.
It's not a battle royale game, which like you need to keep fresh. You need to drop mechs into it and ruin the game for a while, and then the mechs disappear, and you can go back to normal gameplay, right? So it's just, I don't know, it's weird. And I feel like they really dropped the ball here, and they're 4 weeks away from a game that is going to take an audience away from a lot of games. Like people must know Borderlands 3 is coming in, and everyone's just going to play it, right? I've been telling my Sunday gamers, right? I've been like, hey guys, Borderlands 3 is coming out. And,
it is pre-ordered. It is bought and paid for 3 times over. No joke. You're
gonna put on the mask. You're gonna put on the mask.
Oh, got it right. We're gonna have a stream. I'm like, I am more hyped for this game than probably my last kiddo's birth.
We're not going to be disappointed by this game, or will we? We don't know.
No. They've been slowly all I am waiting for is last minute crossplay. Like I feel like it's almost like they want to say it, but they're not going to, and they've hinted at the ability that it's going to happen, but maybe not right at launch, maybe in a patch. I feel like it's going to happen. We're going to get crossplay compatibility. It's going to happen. I'm going to be on my PC. You're going to be on your Xbox.
It's great because you can carry me if you're on the PC, right? It's way better for looter shooters. That's
right. Well, I mean, the mouse.
There's no competition. It's just
co-op. But that's the nice part is once they do that, we don't know what's going to happen. You can already plug in a mouse and a keyboard on your Xbox. So if you really wanted to, you could plug in a mouse.
Like I care.
No, but I'm just saying you could.
I don't care that much.
Because you could, you should. If you can't,
I think that was one of the suggestions for Division 2. But I mean, doesn't each game have to support it? So, like, if the game's not programmed to support keyboard interface, it's not going to work.
So if you're on the same team, it doesn't matter. So, like, I can be on my controller and I can be on the keyboard. But the moment I join your team, so like on Fortnite, for example, if I'm a keyboard player and you join my team, you're going to play with other people that have keyboards as well. You're going to be in a PC kind of environment.
Right, because it's competition.
It's competition. So they're not going to put me as the one keyboard player in a room full of all joysticks.
Because you destroy them.
I destroy
them. May as well put you into the room with all the iPhone players, right?
Right. and that's the same thing is people on Android, the way that they were upping their ranks and whatnot was they'd play on Android and then they'd hack it, or they'd not hack it, but they would make the Android phone think it was all touch controls, but they were mapping touch controls to like
controllers.
So yeah, or controllers or keyboard and mouse. So that way, emulating touch with keyboard and mouse, and so that way, and Epic had to kill that because what was happening is these guys were walking into a touch environment where people were like. At once because it was.
How is he moving that way?
Moving so well, he's just flicking his hands and magic on the touch screen.
Towers are going up in seconds.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's improbable to move that fast on a touch screen.
I more meant that like if I plug a keyboard and mouse into my Xbox now for Division 2, I mean. I've never seen any menu that has the option. I think it's by game, right?
By game. It really is by game. So
does Borderlands 3 have mouse keyboard?
I don't know, but
all right.
What I'm saying is, if cross compatibility happened, that would be an option they would probably want to turn on because that would then put the Xbox players at an advantage because you'd have the option to play with the joystick, and then that puts you in a server with everyone.
There's no need for advantage in co-op games. They're all playing a team.
They're all playing on a team.
That's why I can go get coffee while you kill everything.
We're right. We don't know what modes they might add. Like, I feel like they're still being cagey about what we're gonna get. Like, we're getting the base. We're not getting battle royale.
If they added PvP, I'm gonna be so mad.
I know they're gonna add at least a PvP for like an arena.
It wasn't. Borderlands 2 never did.
But it's a new age. The game will still be the same, but adding arenas of multiple planets because we already know there's multiple planets in the game.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Because then no, don't do it. Don't cheapen Borderlands 3 by adding PvP arenas. Because you know what that does? It ruins the community for PvE. It does. Because in a looter shooter grinder game, all that matters is the best loot.
Right.
That's all that matters.
People are going to be grinding that one weapon so they can own on PvP.
They're going to drop groups the minute it doesn't look like the friend can help you. They don't want to carry people through things. They don't want to help you out if you can't get them the item they want. They're going to be like, yo, let's do this boss.
Can you dupe?
Huh?
Dupe? Can you dupe?
Can I dupe? Do you want to dupe?
Doop,
Doop, doop, doop.
doop, 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 doop.
Scar, you got a scar? Let's trade some scars.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's what's going to be. It's going to be all trading. It's going to be trade scars garbage. And
Yeah, there's going to be all these acronyms for specific weapons and whatnot. Do you have that? Do you have it? Drop it. And then they.
that's going to be weird in a game with like a billion different combinations. You got a Molly wand with poison, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, a billion guns, just like long string. It's like, oh, it'd be great.
You think I'm going to look? No, yeah, and just drop all my garbage, walk away.
Well, I mean, they've already kind of teased what they've got. Did you end up playing the DLC for Borderlands now?
I haven't gotten that far. No, I had to reboot the whole character scene, so I
played it. And there's iridescent weapons or like specific overpower weapons with iridescent abilities. So they're literally like hologrammy, like.
Is it like the pearl? They're bigger than pearls?
They're bigger than pearls. They're a little bigger than pearls, I think. I mean. And then there's overpower. So when you're a specific level, you're high enough level, you get overpower version, and they're monstrosities of weapons. I mean, just like
that's part of the fun, though, right?
Yeah, right. I'm just like
everything blows up on the screen.
Oh, everything's so good. It's so good. I have this one that shoots.
I've been staying away from more than
those, and then bullets coming from the sides. You know, afterwards they come in from like the left and right. Like you shoot like this way. So it's kind of like remember Conference Call? I think that was the name of the shotgun.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it would.
So you'd shoot one way, but then bullets would come in this way. You're like, what? I don't even know how that functions, but okay.
It's fine. It works. Fine. It's Borderlands. It's no question.
You got the cheeseburger gun.
Physics make no sense.
So yeah,
we're not the gun where you empty it and you throw the gun and a new one appears in your hand. That makes no sense.
Favorite. Or it's like, what is it? Take the clip, throw the gun away, put the clip back in the gun.
Ludicrous.
So
yeah, Borderlands 3. I mean, I guess we ended on a high note, right? So Borderlands 3 is going to be ridiculous. We're all excited for it. We've spent the last 2 weeks being disappointed by every bit of news I've seen come my way. And I'm sure it hasn't been that extreme. I think I've been playing some great board games. What came out of Gen Con looked great.
Right. But let's talk about that a little bit because I didn't follow it at all. But I interviewed for a job today, and the guys that I was with, they talked about board games, and they're like, oh, yeah, a couple more guys went to Gen Con. And I was like,
Go on. That's awesome, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah. So what did you hear? You posted about a game. You know, you posted not in the.
Yeah, I mean, I was just following some of the cool board games. I mean, Gen Con looked awesome, right?
What was the game of the con that everyone was talking about? Like that you could follow.
You know, I don't know. I think it was really stratified. There was a couple role playing games that folks wanted to talk up. But they were all indies. I can't, honestly, I haven't really been following much of the news, if I'm honest, right? I just read I read a couple articles on some awesome board games that came out, and I just read that one that I asked about, Black Angel.
Launched at Gen Con?
I didn't know. The Dwarven Forge Pathfinder Kickstarter launched at Gen Con, right? That was Pathfinder? So Dwarven Forge took their terrain sets, and they built a terrain sets specific for Pathfinder Adventure campaign.
No.
And then they added some more Dwarven Forge parts to it. So, and then they launched that, right? So now it's not even a Kickstarter; it's just pre-order. So you can actually, because they already have everything made.
They just they just put it together for the Pathfinder kind of.
Mm-hmm. So again, I think it's a great partnership, in that they can start to show off the flexibility of buying these sets, right? Right. If they want to be smart, then the next Pathfinder Adventure should use those sets again in a different configuration, right? So you can start to show just these 4 sets, just this $1,200 worth of miniatures. That's if you buy it painted, which of course you have to because they're gorgeous. But yeah, I didn't jump in that, right? So I just.
I'm not a Pathfinder player. I'm.
Right, you're a D&D, but I mean,
I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with the Pathfinders.
Still had real case of FOMO watching the videos of that terrain being shown, and every reveal video, I was like, oh God, I want it so bad. Give it to me. As I look through like my hundreds of pounds of Dwarven Forge miniatures downstairs that I haven't used all summer, I'm just like, well, I don't need more. I should really I should really pare this collection down and then add more and figure out.
So summer's almost over. What's the game plan for a group? Are you not going to DM this time around?
Probably like mid-September, I'll kick off a new campaign. I haven't pitched it yet. I'm starting to recruit now. Yeah, we played a little bit of Star Wars, which was a lot of fun. The Star Wars Fantasy Flight role-playing game, and we're playing a new role-playing game called In the Loop with someone I had guest star in my games. Is a friend now, becoming a friend. This is his first time GMing and did a great job. Real indie game. It's kind of a Stranger Things, where we all play kids role-playing world, right? And one of the rules is that adults know nothing and are not involved. The second rule is that kids cannot die. And since we play kids, we now know we can't die. And then the third rule is like weird and fantastical things happen in our town. So you have to sort of like embrace those three concepts and just adventure as a kid, right? You just have to do things that kids would do.
Kids and Gravity Falls and a little bit of.
It's a little bit of Gravity Falls. It's a little bit of everything. I believe
Goonies.
It's Goonies. I believe it's a little bit of it's Swedish, so it's a little weird. But it's got everything that you would expect. One of the character classes is a troublemaker. One of the character classes is the bookworm, right? So like
the inventor,
exactly. You put all these kids together and
jock, the whatever,
and we're having fun. And as a tribute to Stranger Things, I think the GM set it in the 1980s in Syracuse. And so he changed a few because he's from this area. So he changed a few things that happened in Syracuse, like the companies that closed down didn't. So it's actually a much richer city, and the kids are bored, so they get into trouble, right? So that's how we sort of introduced it to it, and it's cool. Like we all kind of got to know each other. We fully embraced our character roles. Of course, I picked the troublemaker because that's who I'm going to role play. And it was a blast, right? It was we got into trouble. We found the tape recording message. When we played the tape recording message, adults would suddenly freeze. And then we played it a second time. The adult started screaming. And that's where we ended, right? We ended on this weird Stranger Things moment. We're like, oh, my God, what's the next episode going to be like? So, and then, of course, we were supposed to have a game Sunday. And since we're adults, one of us had to cancel. We tried to figure out Thursday. And, of course, because we're adults, we can't get a week together. And that's it's just the miserable kind of cycle of doom, right? Which is one of the things why for my campaign next year, I want to do like I want to do it in Waterdeep. I'm thinking I'm going to do it in the big city, and I'm going to try to release the pressure from having to be at every single session, right? Just be like, hey, every Sunday I'm going to have D&D. Show up and we'll figure out how to make the adventures work, right? Like that's the way I want to try to play it. We're all in the big city. All the adventures are going to happen in the big city. So maybe folks come in and down. Yeah. Jordan has been a guest on the show. He just had a kid, family added to, and he still wants to play, but so does his wife. So maybe they switch characters, right? Maybe their character's cursed where they have to switch as to who's playing it at a given time. So we have
a day and night mode.
Like a day and night thing where Jordan plays one night and the next week she's got to come in. She has no idea what Jordan did. So we can really.
What just happened? Woke
exactly.
up.
How did I get here? That sort of
That's
thing.
A good, what is it? Who's the character?
It's like a Memento kind of thing.
Or in Dragon Ball, the one that launch, the one that sneezes. So there's a character in Dragon Ball, in the original Dragon Ball, where she's blonde hair. She's the little kid Dragon Ball, and she's in Z, but she's blonde haired, kind of a cutesy, like I don't know what's going on. And then if she sneezes, she's like a bank robber, badass criminal. So so she sneezes, her hair turns color, and she's one character. And then when she sneezes again, she's like the knight.
Oh, there you go.
Like, what's going on? I don't know. So that would be great. Kind of a weird play.
Yeah, kind of a weird, ridiculous kind of thing. And we'll figure out how to make that work. But I want them both to play, right? I want them both to feel included in the D&D campaign because they were so successful last year. And so, like, I'm playing around with different ideas in that way. I'm like, Waterdeep was a great place for that because if you're in the big city, folks can kind of come in and out as they need to, and I don't really need to explain what's happening as they come in. And I'll probably run the Waterdeep adventure, right? So the Matthew Mercer Christopher Perkins book that they released.
So you get to run nice minty new stuff, huh?
Well, relatively new. I think it's a year old at this point.
Well, new to us.
It's new to me, right? I bought it on special.
So we got time for that. We can't play brand new stuff. What's wrong with you?
I've been playing Guacamelee 2 like a beast. I'm currently in the process of 100%ing it. So.
Oh man, nice.
Or I should say 100%ing it as much as I would want to, right?
So I don't have my PC set up and I don't have any of my consoles set up, but I did have my laptop. And so what I did is I recently got a new video card like last month, and they gave me a coupon for the Wolfenstein, the Youngbloods, which is the part 3, or I don't know what they're calling it, like 2.5, whatever. It's a co-op game.
It's full on New Vegas. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
not quite 4.
Daughters, the daughters of Blazkowicz, and so what's nice is they're sisters, and so you can co-op. So if you wanted to play it, you can 1-player, 2-player, and then one can revive the other. But when you're playing single player, the other player is played by the computer, which is actually not that bad. And if you fall, you can get revived, and so there's a lot of.
Oh, that's awesome.
To co-op, but I got it, but I didn't finish 2. So I didn't want to play until I finished New Order.
So you picked it up on the Xbox Pass? So
no. Well, I had it already in my Steam library, so I fired it up on my laptop, and I've been playing it when I get a chance to sit down and do stuff. So I'm about halfway through that, and that'll give me some opportunity to, once that's done, I can fire up and play the co-op version of that. So I wanted to play I like the Wolfenstein games. I think they're good single-player first-person shooters with good story.
Plus, you get to shoot Nazis all day.
Oh man, it makes me feel so good. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Nazis, the ultimate bad guy.
It's good to shoot Nazis. There's nothing wrong with shooting Nazis.
Absolutely.
All games at this point should just be
Nazis.
The violence should be committed upon Nazis. I think Division 2 figured it out. All of their characters are pretty much fascist Nazis. Yeah.
Nice.
So it's good. It's good stuff. So yeah.
So yeah, guys, that wraps it up for our catch-up. I'm sure we missed lots of news. Please talk to us. I'm going to throw this episode up as quick as possible just to kind of get the ball rolling.
Yep.
Again, like, subscribe, share. There's going to be some new changes to the channel a little bit. I'm kind of in between employments at the moment because of the move and whatnot, and so I'm applying any jobs. And in the meantime, I'm going to throw my focus on the channel and kind of make some
nice.
Changes. So we'll go from there.
Good deal.
Guys, love you. Episode 39 in the can.
Good to each other. Thanks.
Have a good one.